Hey everyone, this is Dylan, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the 4th episode of WandaVision. This episode is called We Interrupt This Program. So this was released on January 29th, 2021 on Disney+. This episode stars Teyonah Parris as Monica Rambeau and Geraldine, Randall Park as Jimmy Woo, and Kat Dennings as Darcy Lewis. And of course, both Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are in this episode, but they are background characters. Before I get into what this episode is about, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below. It really helps out the channel. But now let's get into what this episode is about. So this episode takes a real departure from the previous 3 that we've seen. This is kind of going backwards in time. From the beginning of the first episode, we are seeing a different perspective on the events that are taking place. And this perspective is done through the perspective of the outside world. So I think that that's pretty interesting. The episode starts with Monica, and we see she's like forming, and we don't really know what's going on, but then we find out that she was blipped when Thanos snapped his fingers during Avengers Infinity War. She's been gone for 5 years, and she wakes up in a hospital because that's where she blipped from, and where her mother was when all of it went down, and she's trying to figure out what has happened, and it turns out that her mother had died 2 years after she blipped. And now that she's back, she goes back to her job, which is at the SWORD office. And this is different from S.H.I.E.L.D. We have SWORD now. And she tries to open the door with her ID card, and it doesn't work. Not really many people recognize her. And then, like, the new head of SWORD is like, Monica, hey, and they go in. And due to what had happened, she is put on terrestrial duty. The FBI is wanting SWORD's help with a missing persons case in New Jersey. Monica heads to New Jersey and meets with Jimmy Woo, who says that there is a person in a witness protection program who has kind of went off the grid and nobody knows what's happening, and they go to a town of Westview, but things are weird because the local police there say that Westview doesn't exist, but you can very clearly see this town. They said that there's an Eastview, but there's not a Westview, and it's unclear if this town has just been renamed essentially Westview and it's actually Eastville or what. But we find out in this episode that this is the town that Wanda and Vision are in. There is like a hexagonal shaped force field around this town. I believe somewhere in the episode it says that it's a 5-mile radius. So it's pretty big and encompasses this entire town. And all of the people that are in there are people who lived in this town. Originally, I had thought that they might be like SWORD agents who have went undercover, but it seems like all of these people are people from the town, and it's unclear if they know what is going on and they're just playing along, or if like their memory has kind of been wiped of their previous life and they're just kind of like living in the moment with some breaks here and there of them remembering things that are going on. And so we get a couple of the answers to some of the mysteries that we've had in the first 3 episodes. So we see that Monica Rambeau pulls out a like drone that looks like a helicopter and flies it into the force field. And this is the helicopter that Wanda finds in the first 3 episodes. It has changed. So there is something about going through this like force field from the outside world into the inside world where things change, because we also see that they try to have somebody go through the sewer system to try to get into this town. And he goes into the town with a hazmat suit on, but once he passes through that force field, his hazmat suit turns into a beekeeper suit, and that's the beekeeper we see at the end of the 2nd episode. And so all while this is happening, we have Darcy, who is brought on to the team, and she realizes that there are these like radio waves that are coming out. They call them CMBR waves, and she realizes that these are actually like television waves. And so she's like, I need a old television so that they can pick up the signal, and it turns out that these signals are the sitcoms that we're watching. And so at the end of the first episode, we see that somebody's watching what is going on, and that is Darcy. And she's like trying to figure out who the people are in the sitcoms, which we find out that all of these people are from this town. And then we also find out that certain parts of the episodes are being censored. So they're not seeing everything that we saw in those first 3 episodes. Like, certain parts are being cut out, particularly the part where Wanda and Dottie are talking and they hear the voice over the radio, and Dottie breaks the glass and has blood on her hand. That part has been cut out of this broadcast that they're watching. We also have a part during the 3rd episode where we find out that Geraldine gets shot out of the town, but that part has been cut as well, and we don't really see what's going on. Darcy knows that this is being censored, but she's not sure by who, and it kind of becomes clear, but also a little unclear if it is actually Wanda who is doing the censoring. I'm pretty sure that it is, though. This episode ends where we see Wanda and Monica Rambeau as Geraldine, and it's the end of the 3rd episode, but we're seeing more of what had happened. And so Wanda drops the entire facade, and she basically goes after Monica because she brings up Ultron. And Ultron, of course, killed Wanda's brother, and she sends Monica Rambeau through the wall, multiple walls, and out of the town. And this is where things get very interesting, because Wanda has then replaced the wall. She's fixed the wall with her powers. And then we see that she's kind of shaken, and Vision comes in and is like, what's going on? And we get a glimpse of Vision. This is where this show has turned into a straight horror movie, because it is alluding to the fact that Wanda has taken Vision's dead body, has reanimated this dead body, and has been living with this dead body for quite a while, well, for the length of this show. And once you know that, it's creepy. The shot of Vision's dead body with the Mind Stone ripped out and he's just colorless is a very powerful image. And then we see that Wanda looks away in horror, and then when she looks back, the illusion is back. And so I really liked this episode. I give it basically a 4.5 out of 5. I think that this episode was really interesting. We got some of the answers to some of the questions that we've had in the past 3 episodes, and then we also have some more questions that need to be answered, which I'm sure there will. This is only the 4th episode out of 9, so I do think that hopefully we get more of Vision and Wanda and the sitcoms. I think, one, I'm really excited to see the Halloween episode. I think that that'll be really fun, and see what else starts happening, because it's getting really interesting. We don't know who Dottie is yet. Agnes is somebody that they've identified her, but she is the only one on the sword wall that does not have a license. So that's pretty interesting. And we don't know who Dottie is. I think that that's going to be a really interesting thing, because there's really some rumors going around that Dottie has something to do with Mephisto. We also haven't seen where Evan Peters falls into this, because there's a lot of rumors going around about who he is playing. I do think that hopefully we start getting some longer episodes. Each episode's about 30 minutes, which I think that it made sense for the first 3 episodes, but this one was completely in the outside world and wasn't based off of a sitcom, so it could be more than 30 minutes. So I hope that we start getting more, but I wouldn't hold my breath. But that is it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of WandaVision episode 4 or the entire show in general. And remember, if you're not already subscribed and you'd like to be, please hit that subscribe button down below and give this video a like if you liked it. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day. Bye.